Anna Hazare's morning arrest in Delhi resonates across India. Chennai has poured out on the streets to lend muscle to the anti-graft drive.
As a free country, as a democratic country, he should be given his space to speak what he has to say.
The silence that we have kept so far has cost India, it has been a costly affair. So it is high time we voice their opinions.
After India erupts in protests, the DMK chief says a little restraint from both sides would have helped. Body blow after body language after boycott of the assembly, the DMK now stages a walkout miffed with the charges of improper body language. DMK's act on farmers and agricultural practitioners is kept at bay. Government also farmers can fix procurement prices. The 2-gigawatt nuclear power station in Kudakulam faces stiff resistance. 10,000 residents stage protests, demand renewable energy. Amma brings the Lankan Tamil refugees into the fold. Benefits of welfare schemes to be extended to refugee camps. 5 private players to invest in setting up thermal power stations in Tamil Nadu to meet electricity demands. 3,000 megawatts to be generated. Very good evening. You're watching Late Night News with me, Ashmit Kumar. We, of course, have been tracking all the developments coming in from Delhi as well as from the city. The implications of course, Anna Hazare's protest, his subsequent arrest, and, of course, the latest coming in now that he has refused, in fact, to step out of the Har jail. We'll be tracking this story with a great deal of focus. But first, a look at stories coming in from across the country. Now, Anna Hazare confirms that he does not want to step out of the Har jail. Now, this follows Rahul Gandhi's meeting with the Prime Minister. After preventive arrests, 2 key members of the team Anna are released, Kiran Bedi and Shanti Bhushan. Anna supporters protest the police crackdown, vow to carry on the agitation. The BJP and the left slam the police action as the showdown intensifies. Santosh Hegde says the police would not have done it without the backing of higher-ups. BJP President Nitin Gadkari says he and his party will consider joining Anna Hazare's campaign. NDA leaders meet to discuss this strategy. Well, in the latest coming in from Tihar jail, Anna Hazare is refusing to step out of jail. This despite the fact that the release orders have, of course, been sanctioned by the Delhi police. He, in fact, has stipulated that the only way he will step out of Tihar jail is that if he's allowed to go on a fast alongside the protesters. That's, of course, the latest coming in. Now, critically, this decision appears to have followed a meeting between Congress General Secretary Rahul Gandhi and the Prime Minister to discuss the fallout of the Anna issue. Now, meanwhile, earlier, sources had confirmed that the Delhi police had sent the release warrants, in fact, to Tihar. And even as we speak, a massive crowd has built up outside Tihar jail with hundreds rallying behind Anna Hazare. But of course, again, this has been a very sensitive issue that has worked up the emotions of not just those in Delhi, not just those outside Tihar jail, but of people across the country. In fact, we had similar protests coming out in Chennai as well. Some very, very pertinent voices from the city raising their sentiments, raising their voices against not only in favor of Anna Hazare, but also in the larger context against the concept of corruption, which many believe has been ailing the Indian society. So again, today has been largely a day of mass protest. In fact, Anna Hazare has in fact been seen as the one catalyst which has transformed, which has catalyzed public sentiment into coming together, coming to the foray and displaying their sense of agitation, displaying their sense of irritation with the concept of corruption and the way it has really taken over the Indian society. So that's, of course, the latest sense that we're getting right now. Speaking of the protests in Chennai, well, we saw various pockets of action where the Chennai, the local chapter of India Against Corruption, conducted candlelit protests. In fact, that's only the latest that we saw. There were, from morning, there were people who came out on the streets agitating. There were those who even went on indefinite fasts. There were those who courted arrest despite the fact that they were working professionals. So, of course, that has, of course, been another very key indicator here to gauge the protest by, which is, of course, the participation by the people with irrespective of course, their professions, irrespective of their backgrounds in terms of caste, in terms of creed, religion. They've all united in this one singular protest. With, of course, rallying behind the common agenda, which is, of course, fighting corruption. And one of the latest reactions coming in from the political spectrum, that's Tamil Nadu's political spectrum, the DMK chief made a carefully scripted statement in reference to the arrest of the anti-corruption crusader Anna Hazare. Karunanidhi remarked that both sides should have shed their adamants.
Delhi Anna Hazare,
And while joining forces with the civil rights movement, various members of the Glitterati too joined hands to voice sentiments against corruption.
It's a little unfortunate that in a land where we have people like Gandhi who protested, and ahimsa is the main foundation for our independence, that we are not given that voice to voice our opinions. I think is one of the fundamental rights of an Indian. You know, we just heard Arun Jaitley speak, saying that the fundamental right of a person cannot be taken away as long as the dharana is being a peaceful one, you know. I don't see why the arrest has to be done. I think it shows the insecurity of people who are probably in the other side of the court.
Do you think Anna Hazare in one way represents the anger among the people against corruption?
I don't think he represents the anger, because everything about independence is a positive feeling. Anna and Hazare is also about the positive Gandhi in him, you know. It is not the anger, it is our the silence that we have kept so far has cost India, you know. It has been a costly affair. So it is high time we voiced our opinions and rediscovered that India has all the qualities that India is known for. That in 1947 we got a beautiful India in our hands, and it is up to us to again rediscover the beauty of that India and hand on a beautiful India to our future Indians. Yeah.
Lastly, what is your message for our leaders in Delhi?
Message is that if the society is corrupt, then we are all part of the society, and all of us have to question ourselves as to why the society is corrupt. And there is some amount of taking responsibility and not saying you are responsible or I am responsible, but a collective responsibility has to be taken. If that there is a certain situation, then we are all responsible for it, and you have to take onus for it and not shy away from the problem or not condemn people who are addressing the problem. So that is not a democratic India then. Thank you. Vande Mataram, and victory to Anna Hazare and all the Indians.
Well, victory for Anna Hazare and Vande Mataram. That's, of course, the sentiment that is resonating across the country, and more so in Delhi right now, where Anna Hazare has refused to step out of jail. He's, of course, stipulated that the one condition that he's put forth is that only if he's allowed to fast alongside protesters will he be stepping out of Tihar jail. For more on this, let's go across to our network channel NDTV 24/7 to get the latest from the capital.
The police actually sent him to Tihar jail to begin with. Now the government finds itself in a conundrum. They've got the glare of the media cameras. They cannot force Anna Hazare out and have those images captured, in a sense, not just nationally but globally. And while they had initially been considering options like placing Anna Hazare under house arrest or maybe sending him back to his village in Maharashtra, now they're actually confronted with the scenario where they may have no option but to accede to Anna Hazare's demands that he be allowed not just a 3-day fast, but at least to begin with an open-ended fast unto death on the Jan Lokpal bill, where you will then see the Delhi police having to intervene maybe a few days later in a much more volatile situation where you may have thousands of people at JP Park in Delhi. But at the moment, a fresh crisis for the government, where Anna Hazare has forced the government to reverse its position to offer to release him, and Anna Hazare is refusing to leave Tihar jail till the government gives a guarantee that he will be allowed to conduct an open-ended fast unto death on the Jan Lokpal bill. Sunetra?
Barkha there with the latest developments. As Barkha said, fresh crisis for the UPA. Let's get started with our discussion straight away. Our guest this evening, of course, Mr. Narayan Swamy, he's Minister of State at the Prime Minister's Office and Ministry of Personnel. Nirmala Sitharaman, spokesperson for the BJP. Mayank Gandhi for India Against Corruption, part of Team Anna. and NEWS-NDTV, senior advocate, giving us the legal details, the twists and turns, what are the complications in this case, and Kancha Ilaya, writer and chairman of political science in Osmania University. Thank you all for joining us. First,
of course, there you saw the visuals, those live visuals coming in right outside of Tihar jail. Sentiments of course, pride, sentiments echoing the words Vande Mataram coming out, Indian flags being waved right outside Tihar jail. Again, echoing that voices, echoing that sentiment that, of course, it's time now that corruption as an evil be fought. And, of course, Anna Hazare putting forth a demand that he should be allowed to continue with the fast unto death. That's the one condition that he's put forth, refusing to come out of jail. This despite the fact that his release warrants has, of course, been sent to the jail by the Delhi police. Now, with that, let's also take up the voices of known voices, rather, coming forward in support of Anna Hazare. This one, of course, Khushbu, a very known figure in Tamil Nadu, coming forward, extending some support to the team Anna and, of course, to the anti-graft movement.
Joining me now, actor Khushbu, to talk to us about the arrest of Team Anna Hazare in Delhi. Khushbu, what is your reaction to this?
Very sad, a very sad day. We say we celebrate the 65th Independence Day of our country, and yet we feel that we are not at all a democratic country. We are not independent. We are not free from our own set of rules. So it's a slap on democracy.
Do you believe in the cause of Anna Hazare, the crusade he is leading?
I may not completely believe in the crusade of Anna Hazare, because what I read on Twitter, what Mr. Maheshwar had to say, why isn't Mr. Anna Hazare fighting for the Dalits of his own village? So there are too many questions we do come up. But I think as a free country, as a democratic country, he should be given his space to speak what he has to say till he does not cross the borderlines of the laws and order.
The government says we are elected members, leave it to us, and there's quite a... can the government be really indifferent or turn a deaf ear to the public anger against corruption?
No, there's a lot of anger against corruption in public, agreed. But at the same time, yes, it's an elected government by the public again. So I think we should give them a little of leniency there to decide what they have to do. The demands of Anna Hazare and team is definitely logical and liable. But at the same time, I think we need to find a solution in between to solve this problem rather than creating it and making it much more bigger than what it actually is.
In a way, do you believe Anna Hazare team represent the public anger against corruption?
No, definitely not. Anna Hazare and team does not represent the public. The public has to stand a chance. You don't need Anna Hazare or the team to come up and say that I'm the crusader, come follow me. Right. I think that the complete public, the entire country has to come together. Why is it that the people of a country always wait for somebody to say that, okay, come on, lead me. You are a born leader yourself. Why can't you be the leader? Why can't you lead yourself? Why do we always expect and fall into that category of dependency on someone else? Right. I think we all need to take a stand and say that this is my country. I want a free country. I want a better country. I want my country out of all the scams. I want my country to be right there at the top. So I'm going to take a stance. I don't think you need Anna Hazare or you need anybody to be a follower to someone. You need to take a stance when it comes to your own country.
But a clampdown on this kind of a peaceful protest is not acceptable.
It's definitely not. You are allowed to protest, but like I said earlier, if you are within the parameters and the parameters of the law and order, which have been in the constitution of the law of the country, I think everything is fine within that.
Right. Thank you very much, Khushbu, for your time. Certainly prominent voices raising their voice against this kind of arrest of Anna Hazare and team in Delhi. In Chennai, camera person Sukumar, Sam Daniel, NDTV.
And well, the protest continues to gain momentum as the day passes. In fact, the latest show of support for the anti-corruption movement and Team Anna, in fact, came by way of this independent group called India Against Corruption, which gathered in Thiruvanmiyur for a candlelight vigil. Well, it's time now to get a sense of all the sentiments and that are flowing out on the World Wide Web. Time now for writing on the wall. Now, interestingly, Lakshmi Sharath on Facebook remarked that if you don't support Lokpal or Anna Hazare, it's perfectly fine. But supporting the arrest of Anna is like supporting a dictatorship. So again, an interesting voice coming in, echoing the sentiments of a large chunk of the Indian population. Well, still ahead on the bulletin, controversial insecticide endosulfan is shown the door in Tamil Nadu. We'll tell you more about this on the other side.